everybody, it's Elena. I'm sharing with you today something I made for a sort of a challenge called Craft Nomination Creation for the Facebook group Country Creational Swaps. I was really thrilled when Deanna Bolt nominated me to make a Gothic project for her. The reason why I was happy is because I had the opportunity to make a Gothic project for someone. As I know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, so I make Gothic projects for people when I know they love this style. But the reason why, the most important reason why I was really happy and honored is because Deanna and I call each other twins, as we love absolutely the very same things, like horror books, horror movies, skulls, skeletons, graves, vampires, ghosts, and the black and purple color, well, you name it. And it was the perfect opportunity to make a potion box for her. Here it is. And I started with this box. It is a box, I had 3 vintage boxes like this, one I've used in another project of mine, and as you can see it's lacquered. So I painted the box with 3 coats of acrylic gesso to have a good primer, and then 2 coats of purple acrylic paint. In the monitor of my camera it looks quite bluish, but in reality it is a very vibrant dark purple. Then I removed the latch here because I didn't like it. I went around the bottom part just with this fine eyelash lace and nothing else because there's a lot going on the lid. Around this part of the lid I've used just this gathered trim. It is part a sort of embroidered net and part satin, and I choose this one not only because it's beautiful but because it goes outward, if you see what I mean. So it doesn't get caught here when you open the box, and neither on the front, because it's horrible if you open a box and the lace get caught in. I added this beautiful image of a witch. I found the image on Pinterest, of course, and the only colors I've used for this box are black and different shades of purple. I framed the image with some Chinese braid on one side, some very dark grey, it is more black than grey, a strip of rosette. Then I added 2 little flowers in the corner that come from a trim. I edged this part of the side, this side and this part of the side with thin lace, black lace, and another part of the picture I framed with flat back purple pearls. Then I created a cluster of flowers. Here you can see it goes down one side, and I started with with a piece of a trim, a rolled rose trim. I just cut 2 pieces, and then I built the rest of the cluster using paper flowers. They are all shades, different shades of purple and black. I added some black feathers, and on this side I put a beautiful how's it called, a skeleton leaf, and I embossed a big wing, metal wing. It was a very bright bronze color, so I don't think the camera picks up the difference in the 2 colors I embossed it. But in any case, I embossed the upper part using black ink and clear embossing powder, while the other part is embossed with the clear ink pad and some purple embossing powder. And then I printed this little scroll. I added the word on the computer and it says potions, and I distressed the thing with two Tim Holtz distress ink. One is light purple and purplish reddish, and the other one is an ordinary purple. It is made of cardboard, so I could glue it in a three-dimensional way. And then I've turned the worst enemy of crafters, glue strings, into friends. So please, Deanna, don't remove them. Excuse me. The glue strings are not there because I forgot to remove them. I put them on purpose. I did the same 2 years ago in my first Halloween project when I needed some cobwebs. And I decided that since the theme is quite dark with potions and a witch, why not add in some cobwebs? I hope the camera picks them up, I'm not sure, but you see them. There are plenty of glue strings forming cobwebs. Here, for example, there are lots of them. I put them here too, of course not on the sides, and I really like the effect because they do look like cobwebs. For the latch, I removed the original one. I put this earring. I bought this pair of earrings on purpose for crafting because they are insanely heavy and I can't imagine how people can wear them. So I glued it to this filigree metal piece using the equivalent to E6000, and the box could be opened like this or by lifting the heart. And since it is a potion box and I use lots and lots of essential oils, mostly sandalwood, juniper and mint, and the box had compartments, I altered 10 little bottles of essential oils. Of course, like any crafter, I hoarded them because you never know what you will need for some project. And let me show you a couple of them. I didn't remove their original label because it was really strongly glued. I just put all around some labels I printed, and I found them on Pinterest. And this says Elixir of Opium. I put it all around, I glued it all around the bottle and distressed it with gathered twigs, I think. And there's another one like this. I cut this part like this, I glued it all around, and they are not the same size actually. This says arsenic poison, and they had a dropper on top of them, but unfortunately it didn't fit the height of the box. I would have loved to leave them. Instead, I put pieces of genuine vintage lace. They are cut off from a curtain I've used in another project. They look like gauze, and I've used them like this as a stopper. The bright side is that they let out the scent because I didn't wash the bottles, so they smell wonderful. When you open the box, you smell wonderful essence. And then this is padded and unfortunately the color is horrible, but I couldn't do anything else because I couldn't remove it as it is so strongly glued that I didn't know how to remove it. And in any case, I couldn't paint it either, because I did it in the past, and I know as a fact that acrylic paint, spray paint, or enamel or whatever stiffen the foam rubber. And I couldn't afford that, because the lid would have never closed. Instead, it fits perfectly because it is padded, so the top of the bottles goes inside, if you see what I mean. And then I made a card, just a little card, with a beautiful image of Bela Lugosi, because we both love him. And I just added here there are 2 small red roses and another one here, and nothing else. I distressed the sides of all the card with black ink. And I will write something inside. And now, this last part of the video, please, if you don't like skeletons or dark humor, stop watching now, because I am gonna share another thing I made for Deanna. And one night we were talking about mixing styles, which makes really interesting projects. I've seen them, like mixing steampunk and vintage, or shabby chic and Gothic. It is possible. Like I said, I've seen really beautiful creations. And so I said as a joke, oh, poor skulls and skeletons, they're always combined with black and purple and coffins, so what about beautifying one? And I don't remember if it was Deanna or Claudette told me, well, you go for it, but of course I said it as a joke. I didn't know how to beautify a skeleton or to shabby it up. But when I made this box for Deanna, I thought, why not? And here she is. Stop being in the grave and go to beautiful, elegant party. I'm sharing this with you not because I suppose everybody is going to dress up a skeleton, but because I think it's the same thing as dressing up a very slim dress form or a Barbie doll, for example. So I bought this one. I wanted a shorter one, honestly, but at the Chinese store it was the only one I found. It is quite tall. I haven't measured her, but it is quite tall. The legs, the arms and legs move. And first of all, I created the skirt with 1 layer of white brushed polyester and 5 layers of very pale pink organza. I added this genuine vintage trim with embroidered roses. And with running stitches, I gathered the skirt and glued it here on her hip, on her waist. Then I've used this lace. This is embroidered and this is just net. This is a bright pink, this is pale pink. So I've used it to create a top. The first thing I made was tying around her rib cage some white elastic trim, and then I put a piece of this trim around her neck and shoulders. I twisted it around her arms here and here. I fasten it here and let one tail go down the skirt. Then I made a little bonnet. I cut a circle of felt, I added some genuine vintage white lace. I went around with this gathered lace, beautiful lace, and I fit it on her head and fasten it. It is the more or less the process of making, how is it called, a pouch. I added a ribbon here with a bling. I added a bling in the center, and then on the front here I cut this beautiful rolled rose from a trim, and on her waist there's a sort, you see it here, of belt. It's finished off nicely with some cotton trim here. For the front I made a beautiful bow in a peach, pinky peach color, and I added a beautiful bling with a pearl and some, it is golden all around, so there's a pearl and some blings, and it picks up the theme of the handbag. It is like pearlescent here and with blings. And this bag was originally keyring. I glued it on the hand using the same equivalent of the 6000 I use in these cases because a glue gun wouldn't work. And the last thing, I made half gloves here and here with some trim, and I added a tiny bling on them, as you can see. And another thing, I did some nail art for her, just painting her nails, and 2 nails with pink nail polish. So this is it. And Deanna, please, you give her a name. I can't think of any appropriate name for her, so you name it, okay? Thank you all very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. I hope Deanna likes what I made for her, the skeleton included, and bye bye.